those guys record their tracks in New Jersey, and I send my tracks from wherever I am in the country.
Okay.
Technology is awesome. We can mail tracks over the internet now, and we make albums without being in the same room, and we avoid a lot of overhead that way because we don't have to pay studio costs.
Yeah.
Our album was free, and all we did was make money.
Okay.
So we're in the black. Profitable band.
Cool. So let me ask you. Oh, we're live in the Pits of Metal cast with your one and only, and with Steve Helmer of Helmer. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
So, tell me, how long you been doing this? How long you been doing this Helmer thing?
Well, I mean, I could give you a real brief history. I started playing guitar in 1971. I learned a Johnny Cash song, I Walk the Line. So I've been a guitarist for the last 46 years of my life. I'm 51 now.
Oh, shit.
And I've been writing solo album stuff for a long, long time. And I just decided to round up some great players to make the albums more, real. I could play all of the instruments myself, but it would sound like I'm playing them myself, and I would rather have talented people that I know play parts and put some of themselves into it, if that makes any sense,
Yeah, I understand. That's cool. So, now, has the band Helmer ever played live shows?
Never once.
How many albums you guys have out?
This is the debut album.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to doing Helmer, I was the founding member of the band Die Hard Till Death that did some stuff with Sterling Winfield, who also produced Pantera. And that's a name most everybody knows. And we did I wrote a single for Rock Band called The Will that's on the Rock Band network, and Sterling Winfield produced that record in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. That's cool.
That single, I mean.
That's cool. So, when did you start playing bass or guitar?
1971, like I was saying.
1971. So you still have the first one, or that one got tossed away?
The first guitar I ever owned?
Yeah.
Actually, my brother Mark has the first guitar I ever played. It's like a 1953 K acoustic that I learned to play the Johnny Cash song on.
Cool.
But it's still in existence. It's in my brother Mark's living room here in Madison, Wisconsin. 46 years later, he's still got it.
So how many guitars do you own?
Right now I have 5. And I really want to give a big shout out to David Hargraves at DTH Custom Guitars, whom I have an endorsement deal with. He's in the process of building me 2 custom Telecasters. One of them's going to have pickups in it made by Rick Morosini, Hellfire X pickups, and the other one's wired the same as Richie Kotzen from the Winery Dogs. So those 2 I'll be playing mostly live and in the studio, and you pretty much won't see the rest of my arsenal. But I'm not a big guitar collector. I'm a guitar player. I'm the sort of guy that just plays one guitar and I wear the paint right off that fucking thing,
Yeah. So, you said you got a show on Monday?
There's no shows booked for Helmer. The thing about the holiday
but
season
your
is,
show, your personal show.
As a general rule, I'll work on the album during the holidays, and then we'll probably do some shows in the spring.
But I'm just saying, your personal show, what kind of music you do play on the side? Do you play music on the side?
I don't play any other music other than Helmer.
Oh, okay.
Helmer is the name of the band.
So, you haven't done any shows yet? I know,
That's true.
Not for Helmer, but for other bands. Are you in any other bands?
No. The rest of the guys in Helmer are also in other bands, though. Elvin Rodriguez is the singer of Helmer, and he's also the singer of the band Spillage. And their new record is being produced by Bruce Franklin of Trouble, which is a pretty big deal. And, I'm very supportive of my own guys and what they do when they're not jamming with me. Dave Bizzigatti plays with Corey Glover of Living Color, and he's on tour right now in Florida with the band Wizards of Winter, which is pretty well known, kind of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It's a good example of what they're kind of like.
Tony Spillman's band. Right?
That's it, Tony Spillman.
Uh-huh.
Great guy. I love that guy. He's become my very great friend. And, you know, it's kind of a tricky thing sharing a singer with the same band, but they're a lot more active in that they do tour. They did a tour with the band Chevy from Canada, which is pretty well-known stoner rock band from Canada. They were recently on tour with them, and they did the Days of the Doom Fest tour with Merciful Mike Smith booking all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember Merciful Mike Smith of Days of Doom Tour Fest.
Oh yeah, I've known Mike Smith for forever. I go way back to the very first Days of the Doom, and you know, I'm a big supporter of other people's things. You know, it's not always about me.
Hey, I've been to the Days of Doom, all of them.
Excellent.
Yeah, probably seen you there. Never know. Were you were there at the Days of Doom at the Milk Grill? Blue Pig, what it was called?
No, I was not at Days of the Doom. I was in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I was jamming with my friends Hashkoff in Grand Junction, Colorado when that was going on, so I was about 1,000 miles away.
So you travel a lot, huh?
I have a dog. I have an 85-pound pit bull named Ace, and the only way for him to travel is with me and my convertible. So Ace and myself drive all over the country together, and we do our thing, you know.
What do you guys do over the country?
What's that?
What do you guys do in your travels?
Yeah, I just told you. Like the last place I jammed was with Hashkoff in Grand Junction, Colorado. I was on my way back from Phoenix, Arizona, where I had been doing some recording down in Phoenix.
Okay.
I'm almost constantly moving somewhere. I move like 6 times a year. Everything I own fits in the trunk of my car. And it's not really the life I recommend for other people, but it works for me. I'll be very free. You know, I can put everything I own in the trunk of my car. I can go anywhere I want, anytime I want. Period.
So you have no kids?
No kids.
Damn.
Other than my dog. My dog's my kid, but, you know, he's a dog.
Ever thought about...
I could live like that if I had kids. I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't really recommend that for people with kids, you know.
Yeah. So you never wanted to get married or anything?
Yeah, I've actually been married twice, to be honest with you. Didn't work out either time.
Because you're always on the road, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm not even, to be totally honest with you, I'm not sure exactly which direction I'm headed once I leave Wisconsin. I'm probably going to stay in New Jersey somewhere so I can start working on the new record, which is, you know, the first record's very much a stoner rock album, more like Monster Magnet, and the second record is a lot more like the old school Black Sabbath sound, if that makes some sense. It's more doomy, a lot slower and a lot lower than the first record.
Yeah, I love doom metal. I love the band Trouble.
Totally. Well, the thing is, I wrote 4 albums. I wrote 4 albums with Alvin Rodriguez, knowing that we would have enough material to release an album a year for the next 4 years. So we're way ahead of the game. You know, there's no having to sit down and write stuff because there's 4 albums in the bank and only one of them are released. So I have the next 3 years to look forward to releasing the other 3 that I wrote with Alvin, while he's working with Spillage and me at the same time.
Yeah. I feel you. That's cool. So how many websites can Helmer be found on?
That's a great question. I only have music on Bandcamp. Bandcamp.SteveHelmer is the URL for that. That's the only place in the world you can buy a digital download of my music. And there's a very good reason for that. It's like, if I put my music on iTunes, how do I know iTunes not fucking me? I don't, do I? iTunes can put money in their pocket and not tell you. And it costs a lot of money to sue iTunes for an audit. And the other thing is, when you're on iTunes, you're buried in millions and millions of bands. who wants to be buried in a huge pile and be the needle at the bottom of the haystack?
Yeah.
I would rather be on a site where there's not as many bands and I have more control and can see where the money's going. There's no hide the money anywhere. And I think it's really important for people to understand that I give the band full control of the money. I don't control any money. I write the music. I'm Steve Helmer, and I created the band as the founding member of it, but in order for things to be honest and transparent and on the table, I give all of the rights to controlling where money goes to the band. So we have a very great system going on. No one's ever pointing a finger at me going, Steve, where did the money go? Because they know where every bit of all the money goes. And like I was saying, the album is sold out. I mean, how much better could we do? We played 0 shows. The album is sold out. We know we have a fan base, so we probably should do shows next. Makes sense.
So tell me about an experience with your last band that you were in and you played tours, shows.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
I said, tell me about your last experience with the last band you were in for a while and about your shows that you guys played.
Well, the last band was Die Hard Till Death. I'm a founding member of Die Hard Till Death, and I founded the band while I was playing for Matt Zane of Society One, and that I wanted to have a little bit of a side project. You know, I was a hired gun for Society One, and I wasn't writing music, so I felt a little unfulfilled just playing other people's music all the time when I write music myself. So I founded that band in 2006. In 2011, I rounded up Joey Belladonna's solo band drummer, Paul Marciano. Kurt Arft was in Die Hard Till Death. And Kenny Morgan, my friend from Wisconsin, was the singer. We did 6 shows all over the country. I played with King Diamond in Dallas, Texas, which was probably one of the most memorable shows ever. You know, sitting on the leather couch with the king himself. It was a great honor for me to shake the King Diamond's hand because I've been a fan of King Diamond since I was 13 years old, and I'm 50 now, so I literally shook when I was shaking his hand, you know? And then we did a couple of dates in New York that were 600 or 700 miles apart with Texas Hippie Coalition, which most people know who that is.
Yeah.
One of the other big shows that Die Hard Till Death played was we played with 7 Mary 3, who had the #1 hit Cumbersome on New Year's Eve in Casper, Wyoming. And my great friend Greg King in Casper, Wyoming set that up for us. So, you know, it's been a series of really strategic shows with names that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Instead of playing 100 shows a year on Monday night for nobody.
Yeah. I know who Kurt Arft is. I love King Diamond.
Yeah.
And I love Merciful Fate, too.
Yeah, Merciful Fate. That's
his other band.
Huge fan.
Yeah. Warren Star Music, Kurt Arft.
Yeah, I have a Warren Star cowboy hat. If you look at my Facebook page, there's tons of pictures of a Warren Star cowboy hat and cool people. Steven Jensen, excellent guy. Sylvia Jensen, great people.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie right now, the Warren Star hoodie. I love my Warren Star hoodie. I love my clothes from Warren Star. Warren Star's a great store. So, what's your favorite food?
That's a great question. My favorite food, I'm a meat and potatoes guy. I go to the store and I buy a $10 ribeye, and I pick it out myself, the most beautiful ribeye, marbles in it. And then I buy a can of potatoes, and I warm my meat up on both sides. I like it almost raw. And I eat it with my potatoes that I heat up in the microwave. So, there you have it.
Okay.
Potatoes.
Okay, I could tell you so many things wrong right there. Unhealthy. Canned potatoes are not good for you. Get real potatoes or frozen potatoes.
Neither is smoking, but I chain smoke too. But I don't drink booze at all. I quit drinking 22 years ago, so I'm the most sober guy at the end of the night. I don't drink whatsoever anything.
I don't drink beer, but I drink wine.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not driving anybody else's bus. I just know that drinking makes my life unmanageable. And I don't want to be a drunk loser. I'd rather be like successful in what I'm doing, and I'm on top of my game all the time. And people have generally respected that about me. A lot of bands out there that just get really wasted, and sometimes one guy in the band will do something dumb and ruin the reputation of the band. Like they'll get drunk and be rude, nasty to a fan or something. And
Oh yeah.
Booze can be bad. And some people can handle it, some people can't. And I'm just the guy who I just don't drink.
I hate whiskey. I hate vodka. I hate all that shit. So let me ask you, what kind of cigarettes you smoke?
A Winston.
I smoke Marlboros.
The Winston comes from an interview I read about Edward Van Halen. Edward Van Halen smoked Winston Lights, and I was a kid. And when I first started smoking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be like Eddie, and I'm going to smoke Winston like Eddie, and here I am still smoking Winston later.
Hey, when I started smoking cigarettes, I started smoking Kool. Kool, you know those cigarettes?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm old. I know all the brands.
Oh yeah, that was back in the 90s, man. I smoked that shit. Then
I encourage people to start smoking because smoking is very bad for you.
Yeah, smoking is bad for you, especially.
More likely die from it.
Not everybody. My great grandma's still alive. She's 115.
Yeah.
She still smokes. So let me ask you, what's your top 5 favorite bands?
That's one of my favorite questions ever. And I'm going to start with my all-time favorite metal band. Absolutely, hands down, Crowbar is my favorite metal band. Nice. I'm a massive Kirk Windstein fan. He's on my friends list on Facebook, and every once in a while I'll get to toss a little banter back and forth with my idol, Kirk Windstein. And, the thing about Kirk is, Kirk Windstein's not known for playing guitar solos. Kirk Windstein is known for writing great riffs, great songs, and that's always been my goal. My goal is not to try to be like, Steve Vai or Yngwie Malmsteen or Mr. Joe show-off wanker guy. I just want to write great songs that mean something to people, and write interesting riffs that aren't so complicated that people can't get them, but not so easy that they sound elementary, So I'll start with Crowbar, but I'll go down the line. There's 4 more. They're the essential 5. Corrosion of Conformity.
Hell yeah.
Right next to Crowbar. And everything Pepper Keenan has ever done is pure gold to me, and I'm a big COC guy. Love everything they've done, and In the Arms of God is something I listen to on a weekly basis. And they're awesome to me. The other 3 most people never guess the other 3. Cathedral is number 3.
Nice, I like
Fountain
Cathedral.
of Innocence, especially the album Fountain of Innocence from Cathedral. I love that album.
Yeah. Good album.
Fountain of Innocence.
Yep.
From Cathedral. And then Carcass. See, I like some death metal bands, too. The band Carcass, No Love Lost. Heartwork is probably one of the greatest death metal albums of all time. And the last one is Entombed. Wolverine Blues is probably those are my top 5. Crowbar, COC, Carcass, Cathedral, and Entombed. And if you put all of those bands together, I think you get, that's me. Put those 5 in a blender, and that's really what I consider this gold standard.
Yeah, I believe you. See, this profile, mine on Facebook, it's been on Facebook since February 2003, when Facebook first started, okay? My other profile, I ended up in jail with it because of some political shit, and I'm in jail till February and that, so I'm using this one, backup one. The backup one, I have Greg Christian from Testament on it as a friend.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I said I have Greg Christian on this profile. You know who Greg Christian is? Hold on.
Oh, come again?
I said, do you know who Greg Christian is?
I don't.
Testament. Testament. You know Testament?
No, mean, I'm familiar with Testament and Chuck Billy and Alex Skolnick. Both of those guys. I mean, I played. God, I'm trying to remember some Testament songs I played 20 years ago. Souls of Black. I played the song Souls of Black live for a lot of years in cover bands when I was in getting fresh out of high school. Keep in mind, that's 30 years ago to me, and so I'm trying to remember things from 30 years ago.
I was a little girl then. Anyways, Greg Christian used to be in a band Testament, and I seen him live at the Austin's Fuel Room in Libertyville.
Right on. Testament's a great band.
Yeah.
I think they should just call it the Big Five and put Testament in there because I am definitely a Testament fan.
I remember he threw a shirt or a hat at me because I was standing in front and he knows who I was because I was on Facebook and I kept on messaging him, telling him I'm going to be at the show, blah, blah, blah. He threw a t-shirt at me, I think.
Right on, super cool. Yeah, one of my friends, Chad Erickson, he makes guitar straps.
Uh-huh.
And he made a guitar strap for the bassist of Testament.
Mm-hmm.
He also made 2 guitar straps for me, which I really cherish. You know, custom anything is just awesome to me. Things that nobody else has and nobody else can buy.
My black Ibanez got stolen from me back in April.
Well, that sucks.
Oh, yeah. Someone just messaged me recently. They seen it and they're gonna find that band again. They're gonna get my guitar back from them. Anyways, continue. Your first concert you've been to?
My first concert was Styx Pieces of 8.
Yes.
You probably that's a really oddball thing to have my first concert. I consider this is like 1977. The Pieces of 8 tour and the song Renegade was really big, and I was 11 years old. I was a kid, you know?
Yeah. It's okay. Rock and roll and metal's like the same thing. It's all music.
Well, I mean, the note E is the same note E across the board. If Mozart plays E and Metallica plays E, it's still E. So it's all music theory in my mind, you know?
Yeah. And that's funny you mentioned Styx because last night me and Dave we were taking a cab back home from Menards and we were in a drive-through Taco Bell and we were the driver's window of at the taxi cab, it wouldn't go down, so we had to open the back door, the passenger door. Okay. Are you driving?
Did I lose you?
I'm still here. I said, so the passenger door was open. Hello? Are you there? Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I was saying, the passenger door was open while we were doing the drive-through the window. The driver of the cab was saying he likes Styx, and that's funny you said Styx. Yeah. You can watch the video on my page.
They're musicians, you know, that's indisputable. They had a lot of hits, and they made a lot of money. And I'm never a hater. I can't stand these people that run around. I hate this band. I hate that band. I hate them. I don't hate anybody that's successful, because if you made some money in the music industry, you have done well. There's nothing to hate about that.
I don't hate nobody.
I mean, maybe the music. I don't like the music, but I don't hate their success. You know?
No. So.
Like Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock.
I love Kid Rock.
Says Kid Rock, go Kid Rock.
It's American Badass. Throw your finger in the air.
Yeah, because I'm a cowboy, baby. It's just good, feel-good music. What's wrong with that? Isn't that what music is supposed to do? Music is supposed to make people feel good. It's called playing music because it's supposed to be fun, and, you know, all of those things matter to me. And I have a lot of friends who are musicians, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous of them. It's not a competition between us. We're all cheering each other on, trying to go write good music and make people happy with the music we write, and that's how my friends are, you know. And it's awesome to be surrounded by that kind of positive people.
But I've heard of some bands going in competition with each other, whatever. Okay, what do you think about pay to play?
I've had this conversation before.
Oh.
And this is my take on pay to play. I don't see anything wrong with requiring their band sell tickets to play a show if they get a small percentage of the hard work that they go through to sell those tickets. And, and I've worked with some promoters, especially in Texas, where they'll get you an opening slot for a really big name, and they'll do a 50-50 deal. And this is reasonable and fair to do it like that because the band gets a little bit of money to cover their fuel costs. The band gets a little bit of money to play the show. And the promoter gets the other 50% to reduce his risk because the promoter's got to pay a guarantee. And I've been the promoter. I bought War Beast myself. You know, Bruce Corbett from Rigor Mortis?
Yeah.
I bought them myself. I bought Black Summer Rain. I bought Hellgoat. And they're all great friends of mine. They're great people. And at the same time, I understand that the guarantee's got to be paid. When you promise to pay a band X number of dollars to play a show, you better pay or you're done. You're not going to be a promoter anymore if you start promising people things you can't deliver. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are you happy that I'm...
As far as just paying all outright to play,
yeah,
that's a crock of shit because all of the money, all of the profit goes in the promoter's pocket. The band gets nothing, and the promoter laughs while he screws you in the ass.
Yep.
That ain't cool.
Nope.
It's never going to be cool.
That ain't rad.
That's the truth, and I'm speaking the truth sort of guy.
That ain't rad. So anyways, yeah, I was saying, I'm happy Bruce Corbett's done with cancer, and I pray he stays away from him forever.
Yes. You know, he's had a few setbacks recently, but I consider him to be one of my greatest mentors, one of my great friends, and I've gotten close with him over the years. I haven't talked to him recently, but, you know, I just learned a lot about he's a good role model. He's never an asshole to people. He
Nope.
has helped so many bands go places and do things they would have never done. And Bruce Corbett is a shining example of what a fucking musician ought to be.
Uh-huh.
He is. Stand-up guy. Always. And he's very consistent in that, too. He's not just nice 1 minute and then an asshole 5 days later. He's very consistent in supporting heavy music. And Bruce has been around way longer than me.
Okay, hold on.
I have to mention something about him.
What?
This is something people might not know this about Bruce Corbett. He was the first death metal singer in all of history
I know.
to get a major label deal. He
I
was
know.
the first ever.
I know.
And that's a credential that no one else will ever have. And no one could ever have that credential. So
I know.
that makes him an icon in the industry, if you ask me.
I know.
I think that War Beast is as badass as Slayer ever was. I'll put War Beast against Slayer all day long.
Okay, listen. War Beast, his song, Egotistical Bastard.
That's what I mean.
Wait. Back in March. Hold on. Back in February 2013, we went on tour with War Beast to Ohio. And then later that year, in April 2013, we went on tour with War Beast all over the United States. All over the Midwest to the East Coast, yep. We went on tour with them. It was fun.
Good. Scott Shelby, outstanding person, outstanding music. That whole band
Yep.
is just great guys. And, I love talking about them because they have a great deal to do with why I do things the way I do them. And, just my attitude in general comes from knowing people like that. And they're good role models,
No, Guar was with War Beast in April 2013, and the last show in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm not a Guar fan.
Huh?
Not a fan. Not a Guar fan. Never was. I just don't care for them.
Okay, but
It's not my thing.
I was a
Good for
fan.
them that They made it, but I'm not a fan.
I was a fan of Guar when Odor's Hungress was still alive. No, I'm not a fan of Guar now. I don't like the new singer. Anyways, so when we were at the Jacksonville, Florida show, first time ever I got bloodified. I got soaked with blood. Yeah. My favorite shorts got ruined. So, let me ask you, where do you see your band Helmer in the next 5 to 10 years from now?
Yeah, I like Florida. I lived in Florida. I lived in Tampa, Florida.
You did?
My roommate there was Laverne Crowley, who was Morbid Angels t-shirt guy. So my job in Florida was folding Morbid Angels t-shirts.
So let me ask you, in the next 5 to 10 years from now, where do you see the band Helmer at?
I don't even know if I'm going to be alive 5 to 10 years from now. I anticipate releasing at least one album a year until I die. I have that much material. I probably have 300 or 400 songs I'm sitting on. So there's going to be a big pile of stuff left over when I kick over. I'm 51 years old, and who knows how much life there is left for me. Lots of people die when they're 50.
Knock on wood, you're going to live another 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to live.
But I just live one day at a time, At the same time, I live one day at a time, and I just try to make the best music I can and get it out, the music itself out there to people. And, like today's Neil Young's birthday, and on the Helmer release, the last song on the album was actually Hey, Hey, My from Neil Young, and very orchestrated.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, pretty much.
Steve. Okay, listen. Take my advice. Take my words. Let it burn in your forehead. You've talked to me now. You're going to live another 30 years. Trust me. I've told you this.
Okay.
You're going to live another 30 years, and it's a guarantee.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. I'm going to help him make it another 30 years. But,
you will.
It's like the bass player from Judas Priest. He just turned 70. Judas Priest is sold out next year. And the bass player's 70 years old. I forget how old Halford is, but Halford can still hit all the notes. King Diamond is quite getting up there, too, and he can still kill it, too. And,
so is Ozzy.
Those guys that inspire me, too. No one's going to tell me old guys can't. Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, Up the Irons. All of those guys are old.
What about Ozzy?
They're still selling out. People still love them. They still make great albums. And anybody that says old guys can't do it needs to suck a bowl of dicks. Old guys can do it, and they're proving it to the young bucks. This is how it's done, son.
So, tell me about the song Ivory Tower.
That was written... I used to play it in music stores all the time. I'd go to music stores and I'd just pick up some random acoustic and I would sit on a stool and start playing it. And I started to notice that people in the store would stop and come up to me and, everybody thought it was a Soundgarden song. I'm like, it's not Soundgarden song. It's my song. So I just kind of knew that people were attracted to it. And that's the only song on the Helmer album that I wrote the lyrics to. And it's about one of my ex-girlfriends, to be honest with you. She broke my heart. And, she was above me and I was below her, and she was in the ivory tower and I was below and considered to be trash. So it's really a sad love story about lost love, to be honest with you.
Like Rapunzel, let down your long hair? Like the Rapunzel story?
Yeah, you really just have to read the lyrics to it, though, Way up above, high in the sky, I lost my mind when you said goodbye. And they end relationships, and everybody's ended a relationship at some point in their life, and if you really, really love the person, it makes you crazy that you've lost this person that you cared so much about. And more often than not, most people don't see the end coming. It's some traumatic, somebody cheats on somebody, or somebody rips somebody off, or some really bad thing happens, and the relationship ends in a time where they didn't see it coming, like getting hit by a bus,
Okay, let's play that song.
Way up above, high in the sky, I lost my mind when you said goodbye. You killed me before, you'll kill me again. I'll come back to life and get my revenge. I would not change.
You know what you're doing, yeah. So when you
Well, it's
do
like Mr. Goodwrench, you know? Mr. Goodwrench works on your car. He's a certified mechanic.
so when you do all this stuff, is it in different states, or is it like people that call you want you to do this?
No, I mean, it depends. You know, I'd really like to do some stuff with the band Hashcoff in Grand Junction, and I've been talking to them about the possibility of coming down to Colorado and doing some stuff with them. I was just in upstate New York recording Jones Boys and the Collective Talent, which is a country band.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you heard of Waylon Jennings. I was
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings' grandson, Wade Jennings, up there, and I did some marketing work for Waylon Jennings' grandson when I was up there. So kind of all over the place.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Now,
In between engineering and musician, I'm back and forth, and the marketing angles too, you know.
yeah. So you use your cell phone a lot for the internet?
What's that?
What kind of device you use for the internet a lot?
I have 2 laptops and an iMac.
Ah.
I do marketing for DTH, Von York Strings, and Morrissini Pickups. And I'm an administrator for a few bands like the Recast in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh.
Big shout out to Armando Gutierrez from the Recast, good guy.
That's cool. Well, that's a cool life you live, Steve.
What's that?
That's a cool life you live, free spirited.
It's very spirited, but at the same time, it's all about multiple streams of income. You know, I might make $5 in one place, and then make another $5 in the other place, and I might make $5 doing marketing for somebody that day, and then I might sell a couple of T-shirts and albums and make $20 on that. And you put all those things together, and I survived that way. But you know, I'm not going to candy coat it. I'm not getting rich on anything.
Yeah.
But the bottom line with Helmer is Helmer didn't cost anything to record it because me and Matt Westlake recorded it in 2 locations, so our overhead was 0. We've never played any shows, so we don't have any fuel costs. We didn't lose any money there. We've done nothing but make money with Helmer.
Yeah.
Isn't that what most bands want to do? Make fucking money?
Yes.
What's intelligent band says, I want to play 100 shows a year and spend $5,000 in gas and lose all my hard-earned money? That's stupid. Who wants to do that? That's dumb.
But most.
So I'm not really big on playing. Go ahead.
But lots of bands love doing it because they love the music.
No, they love the gratification of having somebody feed their ego in person. That's what they love. They love standing on the stage like it's a pedestal and they're a statue and they want to be fucking worshipped. I'm not that guy. My ego's not that big. I don't need to stand on the stage and be worshipped by people. You know what I like more than that? I like when somebody asks me about my song Ivory Towers because the song carried itself all by it fucking self. You didn't need to see me play Ivory Towers live to be connected to the music.
No. I felt the music.
That carries a lot more weight. But I'm speaking the truth here.
Yeah.
It's not that they love the music, it's they love themselves and want to stand on a pedestal and be served by their fans.
Ego.
Yay,
Testicle.
Yay,
Bastards.
worship, worship, worship.
Ego.
It's
Testicle.
not that I like to
Bastards.
play live or I hate playing live,
Yeah.
but I think, it's not about my ego, it's about people connecting with the songs.
No, I'm just saying. I'm using that phrase to the other bands that you're talking about. I'm using Bruce Corbett's song, Warby's song, to the other bands that you're talking about that like playing for the egos.
Exactly, but I really recognize the difference between the 2 kinds of musicians. There's the Bruce Corbetts, who people connect to the music. They connect to his personality of being just an awesome human being.
Yes.
And when they go see Bruce Corbett live, they feel like they're going to see their friend live. Bruce Corbett doesn't consider himself above his fans. And Dimebag Darrell, I'm going to call him fucking Dimebag Darrell right now. Dimebag Darrell never considered himself better or above his fans. He didn't want people to worship him. He wanted to be their friend. That's what made Dimebag the coolest motherfucker ever lived.
No,
I
no.
don't want to be like that guy. I
Okay.
don't want people to go, ooh, you're awesome, and
Steve,
be all starstruck
Steve.
and all that. I'm a human being, and I take a shit like everybody else.
Steve, sweetheart. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not. I didn't say Bruce Corbett's egotistical bastard. No, I said I'm using a reference song to the other bands that want to stand on stage looking like a statue to the people, so the people can worship them. They're egotistical bastards. Those bands. Do you get what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I get the analogy. No, I got what you were saying in the first place. I
Okay.
totally get you. And you're right. You're really right. And I hate to use guys like Yngwie Malmsteen as an example, because I love Yngwie Malmsteen's music. I think he's a badass. But Yngwie's that guy that wants to be worshipped.
I hate donuts.
I don't want to be that guy. It's okay if he wants to be that way.
Oh.
I'm not him, you know?
Jack Starr. You know that guy Jack Starr?
I know Jack Frost.
No, you don't know Jack Starr from Florida?
Sabotage.
No, Jack Starr from
I know
Florida.
Jack Frost.
You heard of Rhett Forrester?
From Gamma Ray.
I think so. Rhett Forrester, the one who died. He was in Riots.
That's Mike Scott. Mike Scotia
No.
played with Ministry.
No, not Mike Scasia. Rhett Forrester. He played what? He played in Riot and he died. Jack Starr and Rhett Forrester made a CD.
I met his management years ago, but
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
not familiar.
How about David Schenkel?
David Schenkel is an